Okay. In our last video, we said that we were looking for another BLM land to park at. And so now we are up here at the Joshua Tree town, city of Joshua Tree. We found some BLM land about 10 miles east of it, maybe a little bit less. We'll give the GPS coordinates for it at the bottom there. It is really pretty up here, kind of desolate, of course, you know, in Southern California. It's pretty. Got a couple of neighbors, but that's fine. Got a little solar farm right there. Wish we could hook into it. Coming on around. And another neighbor there. Okay, going on. Okay, so now then. What I'm about to embark on now is I am having trouble with the clutch. At first it was warming up to where I couldn't shift gears, and now it's to the point to where I have to put it in second and get going. So I'm gonna be pulling the transmission, gonna be pulling the gear shift out, pulling the transmission, and pulling the clutch. There's a lot of steps to it, so I guess I need to get to it. So anyway, okay, as you can see, I took the plastic piece off, which it only had one screw right here, one screw here, which actually came off of this piece. This piece was right here. I had the 4 bolts, one here, one here, one here, one here. Took those out because my gear shift is here. Took the boot off. Got that out of there. To get your gear shift out, you're gonna have to loosen up these 2 bolts here on the side, one on each side. Holds it in there and then just pops out. I put them back in, that way, one, I don't lose it, and number 2, I've got another part here that's loose, so I don't want it falling out. And then of course, since it's going down into the transmission, I stick a rag on the top here. That way if it sloshes around when I take it out, then hopefully it won't spill as much as if I didn't have one in there. So now then, also too, you might want to be careful because right here at it, as you can see, is the airbag circuit, so you don't want to mess with it too much. Accidentally set those things off, so they're about like a bullet. So anyway, now it's time to jack up the car, put it on stands, and start disconnecting everything off of the transmission so I can start dropping it. So anyway, okay, so I'm into the car now, and what I'm gonna have to do is right here, I'm gonna have to take these bolts out right here for, sorry, for the exhaust down there. And come on, and disconnect it there, and disconnect it right here on both sides, and then undo my drive line. So that's next. So, be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Now then, what I had to do is my bolts wouldn't agree with me right here on the other side. It stripped out, so I can't get that apart. So what I had to do is I had to drop the muffler all in one piece off of the end over there that's going up to my head. So now also too, you can see that I have dropped the drive line. There's the back of the transmission, and I have no leaks or anything, so that seal is still good. So I'm not even going to mess with it at all whatsoever. Okay, and on the back you can see, I can get it. If I can get it to where you can see it. There we go. I took that end off, and it was just 4 bolts with the nuts. Took that off, and there is no leak on that end, so that is a good seal. And of course, as you can see, I don't hardly have any room, so now it's a little bit harder to get to everything. So now what I get to do is take my speedometer cable off, take the linkage off for the gear shifter, and then I can start unbolting. And of course too, I'm going to have to take this cross member out right here. These 2 bolts goes over. I've got 2 inside bolts. This side here are 4 bolts. Right there are 2 bolts, and then I've got 2 bolts on the other side. Now I had to take the muffler off so that I could reach these 2 bolts here, because the catalytic converter was covering it up. So
somebody has a birthday this week. Hey, we didn't give away your age on the candles.
shoot, no. Fire alarm will be going off.
Alright, make your wish.
Yay.
And your birthday present from Mom was
Star Wars Rogue One.
Are you thrilled?
I'm thrilled. Anything about Star Wars. Okay, good morning everybody. I got most of stuff out of the way. I'm on day 2. I have gotten the drive line out, and I have gotten the muffler not out but out of the way. The bolts kept stripping on me. I've tried spraying it with WD-40, I've tried spraying it with liquid wrench, I've tried everything. I've tried heating it up with my little torch. Still wouldn't break loose, so I'm just having to just lay it on the ground and maneuver around it. So what I found yesterday is one on my clutch cable. This bracket is going to be sitting in like this and my bushing is tore up, that sits on the inside of it to help. It's like it's more of a guide, and it helps keep that clutch cable off of any metal. So I'm going to have to replace it. Since I've still got a guide here, I can wait a few days until I can get this bushing and put one on. It's not going to be that hard. It's just 2 bolts. Take it off and then put it back on, so it's no big deal. And number 2, on my speedometer cable, this little doodad was broke on the inside of it, so I'm gonna have to get another speedometer cable. This is the reason. I was hoping that the line was just loose or something, but that's not the case, so I'll have to get another one. We'll have to research it online or go to one of the parts stores that's local. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break loose my bolts off of my transmission going to my motor. I'm just going to break them loose. I'm not going to take them off. I'm just going to break them loose, and then that way I can scoot down a little bit, and I will take my cross member off. That way whenever I take that cross member off, I can see how that transmission is gonna go, and then I've got my jack ready to put up underneath the transmission whenever I get ready to pull it. So without any further ado, I'll get to it. Okay, finally, this is day number 3. Finally got the transmission dropped. Those bolts, I found out that it's better to use a 6-point socket than a 12-point socket, and so far that is true. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking off the old pressure plate and clutch, and I'll be looking at it and install the new ones. So when you take those bolts off for the pressure plate, there's going to be a mark somewhere on there, and that's where you'll want to put the new one. That way it's still all in alignment. When you loosen them up, doesn't matter where you start, but make sure you go across whichever one that you loosen up. That way whenever you loosen them up, those springs will loosen up and it won't spring out on you, hit you in the head or anything like that. So anyway, that is what I'm gonna do. So,
And your birthday present was some new tools.
and birthday present with some new tools, impact sockets even. Man, I'm definitely putting them to use, that's for sure. Alright, this is the old one, and as you can see, it's starting to go into one piece, which is getting close. It was getting close to these rivets, and that would have not been very good at all, both sides, and that would have not been very good at all for this. This is your pressure plate, and then right here you can see where it was starting to wear real bad. So luckily it did what it did when it did it. So that was one of the tail signs, I guess you could say, of your clutch going out. Is one, it's gonna start getting hard to shift gears, and number 2, what you can do is get in your car, drive around a little bit, let it warm up to normal operating temperature and everything, and then go to a parking lot, have it in first, have it in neutral, go from first, come out of first, go into reverse. If there's anything going into that reverse, if it starts getting hard or you start hearing gears grinding or anything, then it's time to replace your clutch. That's what happened to us. It started getting warm and hot, and then it wouldn't give us the gear. And then right before I started working on it, what I had to do was have the car off, put it in the gear, and then turn on the car, and then let the car take off. So hopefully, so now what we got here is we have the new one. Yep, we got the new one. It's a little bit different, but it should work because it's all the same, so good stuff. Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, changed out the, it's called the throw out bearing right here. This little doodad right here. And I've got my clutch and pressure plate all up and torqued down. And so now it's going to be a little tricky, but I'm about to put the transmission back in. And hopefully I can do it kind of by myself, so it's going to be kind of a process. But man, it's really not that heavy. It's just that with me being on the ground and on my side, it's this back piece that's heavy. So I'm going to have to lift up this back end and put the jack underneath it as best I can and kind of jack it up just a little bit at a time until I can get it up in there. And of course, also remember to hook up all of your electrical and vacuums and all that other good stuff. So be sure to hook up your clutch cable back up, cross member, all that good stuff. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, finally finished up. I had put everything back together, and so went and got another clutch cable, and took about 10 minutes to put it in. And first it still wasn't doing right, so I adjusted it to go in towards the motor a little bit, and now we got gears. And so now one of the most important things to do is clean your tools. That way whenever you go to get more tools sometime else, and whenever you grab into them, you're not grabbing a bunch of grease and dirt and grime, and keeps them in good condition, and you can trust them still. So now we have a vehicle and clean tools, and hopefully it'll keep going. So I guess that'll be it for now, until something else comes up, or we find something else to put a video to. So anyway, I hope y'all had learned anything, or if not, or that's fine. If you want to, you can comment below, or if you don't want to, that's fine too, or like or dislike or whatever you want to do. So anyway, I'm gonna finish up my tools and get things squared away, and I think the wife has got me something else to do. So y'all have a good day, good week, good month, good year. Talk to you later.